When most people hear home field advantage, they think of their rowdy student sections or being able to get that much-needed last at-bat in the bottom of the ninth inning of the state championship. But for Anthony Bernardes and his family, home field advantage means something completely different.
I've been playing baseball since I was 3 years old, so I loved it the first time I played it.
Anthony Bernardes is a 2-year returning varsity letterman for the state-ranked Prosper Eagles baseball team, but he would not have been here if it weren't for his mother's perseverance.
The reason we left Cuba was obviously, not a good place for my parents to raise us. They wanted to get out and they wanted to come to the U.S. because that's what the dream is. You have opportunities here. You could live a life here.
Like many others before her, Yusemi Bernardes defected from the communist country of Cuba, trying to find a better home for herself and her family.
My dad was afraid. He was afraid that something would happen to us. He didn't want us to experience that, obviously, but it was hard. He had to make a choice.
Immigration has grown exponentially, with many immigrants coming from Central and South America to states like California, Texas, and others in the Northeast. This issue came to a head in the summer of 2014 with the recent influx of unaccompanied minors who become part of our educational system. While border security and immigration continue to be a talking point for political debates, many international athletes heed the call from the land of opportunity and seek the home field advantage of sanctuary in the American athletic system.
I've seen the benefit of what it can do for families, especially young people, especially kids that come into our country. I think that's what this country was founded upon. I mean, we're an immigrant nation. So if we're able to teach these young men to be citizens of our country, to help them adapt culturally to a new life, then we've been successful.
In the 2014 season of Major League Baseball, there were a staggering 224 players out of 853 that came from non-American descent. Not only is this trend prevalent in Major League sports, but also among high school students in our home state of Texas.
I think the athletic landscape in America is so broad. I mean, it's worldwide. Internationally, we probably provide the best professional sports leagues there are.
Had Miss Bernardes not immigrated, Anthony would not have been able to reap the advantage that America offers, whether it be little things like supermarkets or being able to play America's pastime on his new home turf.
The first thing they did was they took us to like a supermarket, a grocery store, and we were in shock because we had never seen that before. I'm glad my dad decided to bring us here. I'm very thankful for that. And that the fact that I had my kids here and my kids don't have to go through that and see that, it feels good. There is no place like the U.S. This is my home. I'm Cuban at heart, but this is my home.
For this new culture shock, Bernardes is now rounding third and headed for home. For Student Television Network, I'm Austin Garcia.
It's Saturday morning at 6:30 a.m. While most are still sleeping off cheering at Friday night's basketball game, a different breed of athlete is preparing for the fight that will define his high school experience. Tired, thirsty, hungry, ready. Isaac Cordy is a well-known senior here at Prosper High School, actively participating in multiple extracurricular activities. Not only is he well known for his music abilities, he is also a member of the Prosper wrestling team.
I've worked my tail off since last wrestling season. I've been working so hard. In the gym every morning, whether it's weights, cardio, before the wrestling workouts, and then I go to school and I have my wrestling workouts during the wrestling period, and then I have wrestling practice after school.
For the average wrestler, wrestling doesn't stop when he leaves the mat. This holds true for Cordy.
I weighed 170, and so I wrestled 160 for like a month. And I decided I was going to work my way down to 52, and I finally got down to 52, and I wrestled there, and I felt strong, but then I was thinking about it some more, and I thought that, I can make it down to, I think I can make it down to 45.
Nutrition is a huge aspect with every high school wrestler and requires a great deal of self-control and discipline.
Homemade protein bars, those are chocolate flavored. Those are delicious. A bunch of berries, a bunch of asparagus. I think wrestling has just taught me so much about, it's happened before where you don't get as far as you want to. But you just have to learn from those experiences and take them. There's so much that sports can teach you, just for life. And in the game of life, you're going to fall down. You just got to decide to brush it off and get back up.
From practice to school to nutrition, balance is the key to Cordy's success. For ETSN, I'm Ben Fine.
Staying together with my sister.
Margaret Hopkowitz is an 89-year-old woman from Czechoslovakia that survived the horrific events of the Holocaust. She was first transported to Auschwitz-Birkenau, the Nazis' main death camp, around 1943, in which her parents were killed.
Have a special way to get into that with a train, only there. So when they open up the door from outside, the soldiers, they were around and was telling people which way to go. 10,681. That was my name.
She then endured a long walk to Bergen-Belsen, which is a small concentration camp located in Germany.
So I was going on a dead march to another camp, Bergen-Belsen. They don't give you a jacket or a coat to wear. Whatever you have on, you have to walk.
Later in Bergen-Belsen, typhus would hit, and the majority of the camp would become sick.
Bergen-Belsen had a place where people get sick with typhus. I was sick with typhus, so was her. It's very contagious disease, and they not give you nothing to help you.
She had a close call with the infamous Josef Mengele, aka the Angel of Death, who was known for his cruel medical experiments. She was almost chosen to be one of his experiments.
Well, he tried to put people in a place where they come out different people, changed completely. So when you lay down at night, you pray, and you pray that you won't be here too long. To face another week, another day.
After going through this terrible experience, the British placed all the survivors in a recovery camp in which they would slowly grow back into their normal lives. But the memories would still live on and be told today. For Eagle Nation News, I'm Joshua Fisk.
An awesome night can turn into one of the worst nights of your life with just one little decision.
Brady Thompson, along with 6 of his closest friends, attended a concert at the Tumbleweed Dance Hall in Stillwater, Oklahoma. Little did they know, this night would not end as planned.
Both drivers said that they hadn't been drinking, so I didn't think anything of it. I trusted everybody and just hopped in one of the trucks. So it was Thursday night. There was a big concert at the Tumbleweed Dance Hall in Stillwater. Those in the group that were over 21 had a couple beers here and there at the concert. Everybody enjoyed themselves. The roads there, they're not dirt roads, but they're definitely country roads. No street lights or anything like that. And so on the way back, we took a right at a stop sign, and there was a sign on the side of the road that said road closed to through traffic, but it wasn't blocking the road, and the driver didn't notice that the sign was there. And so we took off down that road, not thinking anything of it, doing about 50 miles an hour, and out of nowhere on the dark road there was about a 5-foot tall pile of dirt. Whether it was the alcohol in his system or not, we didn't have time to stop and smacked the hill going about 50 miles an hour. We hit the hill, went over the top of it, smacked the ground on the other side.
The extent of injuries varied, with passengers slamming against the windshield, some breaking their ankles, and multiple smaller injuries, although Brady's appeared to be the most life-threatening.
It broke my eye socket in 2 places. I broke my cheekbone, I broke my upper jaw, and I deviated my septum, which is the middle part of your nose inside, and then I shattered my nose bone all the way up, multiple fractures, and shoved one piece of the fractured bone into the sinus in my forehead on the left side. I remember standing outside of the truck with blood all over me, And everybody's coming up to check on me, but my only thing was trying to check on everybody else. I was good friends with the guy who was driving. The reasons I trusted him, I had seen that when he said he was going to sober drive, usually he did just that. I want to say that I would have said, no, let's call a sober driver. That's what should happen. My message would be that friend, because then you don't have to spend 6 hours in the emergency room or the rest of your life without one of your friends. I won't drink and drive, and I'm going to make sure that every time I get in a car with somebody that they're 100% sober. Kind of definitely changed my way of thinking. We all got really, really, really lucky. Really lucky. It's something that everybody hears growing up, and it's just beat into your brain so much. It's almost like the little prayers that you say, the God is great, God is good prayers. You don't even think about it. Just don't drink and drive. Okay, thanks, Mom and Dad, I know. Everybody hears it, you've been hearing it since a kid, but it doesn't really stick with you until you get smacked in the face. If you're gonna have an awesome night and you're gonna go have a lot of fun with your group of friends, just make sure that you have a way to end that night.
A business that has grown over the past several years is Animal Care. With Prosper High School's new vet clinic class, students are on their way to a promising career.
As a part of this new course, students get to gain hands-on experience with domestic animals. So what do students gain from this experience?
Well, right now we're working on resumes and stuff so we can be prepared for when we want to go pursue a career in animal medicine, the animal industry later in life.
You can be like an embryologist or animal geneticist, which is what I want to do, so that's why I took this class. So there's so many different options.
Prosper High School's agriculture teacher, Mrs. Burden, speaks more on the opportunities that the program gives to students.
We also do how to give vaccines. We practice on that, and we do how to practice drawing blood, filling out paperwork, the proper procedures, identifying animal behavior and what it looks like, what to do with an aggressive dog, your basic kind of safety procedures in a vet clinic and what you would need to do. This year we're starting the grooming program, which is really exciting. That's not very common in most schools in Texas. It is common for veterinary medical operations and classes within Texas, but it's not common to have the grooming. So it's exciting to be starting something new, developing a new program, and really growing to fit the needs of the students.
As students expand their knowledge in this class, the student body and faculty members can anticipate grooming services from them later on this year. For Eagle Nation News, I'm Kristen Neal.